But before we got here, you started by saying you were brand loyal in a previous life, you said.
Yeah, you can think of it that way.
Explain.
Like the typical temples that you build, right?
Hmm.
And we've discussed this. I've had posters on my wall, and you always looked up to them and said that this would be ultimate.
Hmm.
This has to be the pinnacle of an experience.
Hmm.
And Harley's for me was that first time that
Hmm.
that temple got broken, right?
Hmm.
It came down like, and I literally, it was like suddenly you're faithless. I mean, it doesn't make sense. This can't be real.
Hmm.
That first ride where all the Harleys we rode from Delhi to Jaipur,
Hmm.
and the entire ride, I was just trying to say, how can I not like this? I mean, there has to be one bike that I like.
Hmm.
There has to be one bike. And the closest I came to liking a Harley then was the V-Rod.
Hmm.
And always I doubted myself, saying that no, you've not. I mean, you have to ride it in a different experience. No, you need to spend some more time with it. But eventually, you realize that if it's not sitting right, then something is not right.
Let's come to brands that we can actually talk about.
Okay.
Like Tata versus Maruti, for example. I mean, it's the same conversation as far as I'm concerned, but in a different context, right?
So in that, yeah, that's a.
You know, it's like we did the Curve EV motoring first, and the first few comments were, "Here come the Tata fanboys."
Yeah.
Right? And somebody even said, we should support Indian brands by default because they're Indian brands, and then we can look back on it later.
Correct.
And obviously, we are not going to be fanboying. Because to me, I think we are very clear that a product is a product. And an Indian citizen is going to spend hard-earned money on that product. So we have to evaluate it for what it is, and rather than what its context is. Right? Would we rather see Tata Motors and Mahindra and Hero and Bajaj and all the Indian companies do heck of a lot better and make a lot more money and make a lot more customers happy? Of course we would. But I don't think the way to go there is to applaud and be brand loyal and be fans.
Correct.
Being a fan is not our job. And I think the manufacturer's job is to hopefully turn us into fans by making products that are really that good. Right? But how does the customer approach this? Because they simply do not have the exposure that we have in terms of constantly cycling through brands and products.
The simplest thing is to be willing to listen.
Hmm.
One thing that brand loyalty and the extension of that is that fanboyism is the inability to listen to another opinion. Why should that be the case?
Yeah.
And this was one of the things, right? Listening to some of the voices that are talking to us now digitally, it was like almost as if somebody's on a retainer by a brand to be loyal to them. Has a company paid you to be loyal to them? No. The company is supposed to make you loyal through what they do. But if you're paying them 10 rupees for a product, they should be delivering 12 rupees worth of value so that they have earned your brand loyalty.
What a Marwadi example to give. Great example.
But it is, I mean, that's how I think about it, because they have to over-deliver and they have to consistently over-deliver.
Yeah.
But if every time you're just coming back to, no, they're thinking about me, but I'm not really sure how that is being quantified, then you're not, this is not brand loyalty, this is stupidity.
Yeah.
Because you're not actually thinking about what is your benefit. Brand loyalty is at the core. You have said, my formula has got simplified to find the best value for what I'm looking for, what matters to me, right? And that formula I can easily apply every time. That is brand loyalty. But if you're shortchanging yourself by tying yourself down to a particular idea and not looking beyond that, you're shortchanging
No,
yourself.
I think you're okay. Don't take him too seriously at all. As I've said before, mistakes are a very powerful way to learn a good lesson. Please make mistakes. Please be blind. Please do not open your mind. Please do fanboyism in our comments. And honestly, it happens very little. Our overwhelming comment stream is actually more of a discussion than fanboyism, so we are okay. But if you want to be fanboyism, which has blind spots, and you want to dwell in those blind spots, I don't know why you're getting so upset.
No, I'm not upset.
See, it's a learning experience. We've all learned, right? Like before we started being a journalist, we all had loyalties, right? As I've said before, I was a very, very strong Yamaha fan.
Yeah.
And even today, if you leave my tester side out, I'm still rooting that eventually Yamaha will find its feet. It's not happened for 25 years, but my optimism is eternal. Right? My patience is not eternal. But my patience is part of my road testing set. It's not part of my brand set. So would I like Yamaha to do a heck of a lot better? Yes, I am desperate for them to do better. I would like to have more Yamahas in my life. But as a road tester, I have finished my patience for them. When they get it right, I am still here. I am not going anywhere. But they are not going anywhere either, which is what the problem is. Right? So I have a side that can be considered brand loyal, but a side that is much more cold and calculated, right?
Hang on a second. I don't know if you're planning to troll us or to tell us that you love us. But before you do either of that, I'd suggest heading over to the main MotorInc channel, watch this entire video, get the fuller picture, and talk to us there. That'll really help.